kai da shi ku gamu daga gadimidi ya doki witaushe kai ka ci gaba ka zo gida kwa.
Good morning.
No, ba yanzu ba.
Hey, Amama.
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, Saba.
Ça va
Kai da
bien.
shi ku gamu daga gadimidi ya doki witaushe kai ka ci gaba ka zo gida kwa.
Good morning.
No, ba yanzu ba.
Hey, Amama. Oh,
Yeah.
wait. How are you? Okay. There we go. There we go. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. I was talking to Miss Rose saying how good of a session we had this morning. And then I actually did some trades after. Did you get back in the charts after the session? Amama? No? I guess not. You're on mute. All right. So welcome to another Winning Wednesday session, everyone. And every Wednesday I come on here, and this is just an intro for anyone that's new who has seen people talking about Forex and have been wondering, how does it really work? What's it all about? And, just seeing people posting, that's not going to tell you exactly what it entails. So you can get a little idea by watching what we do here. So let me go ahead and start sharing my screen. And first things first, we got to do the disclaimer. This call is for teaching purposes only. I'm not a licensed trader, and therefore I'm not responsible for anyone's account. Each person is responsible for their own account, right? So you trade at your own risk. Those of you that are new, I'm going to show you how to set up a demo account so you can trade along with us. You can trade with monopoly money, right? So there really is no risk at all for you. But with that being said, let me go to this. Here we go. All right. So first thing that we do when we are going to do a session is check the news. So I go to forexfactory.com, and we're doing binary options. That's a time-based style of trading, right? So when it comes to Forex, there is the traditional way where it's target based, where you want to hit your take profit 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, but then there's also binary options where it's time based. So I'm going to show you how to do some binary options today, right? So as I said, we check the news first. So Forex Factory is where we need to be. And the news is going to be represented in a series of folders with different colors. The yellow folder is low impact, orange folder is medium impact, and red folder is high impact. Now, typically when I jump on the computer to do a trading session, I'll be on for like an hour, right? So if I get on for that hour and I see that there's a red folder, look, we see at 10 a.m., there was a red folder on the US dollar. If I see that, I'm not going to trade, because the US dollar, for some reason, if there's a red folder on that, it tends to affect everything. So I will just not bother to trade if I see a red folder on the US dollar and an orange folder in a close proximity of time. I'll just not even bother to trade. So, I'll just close my laptop and go about my business. But typically, say if it was another currency, say it was AUD that had a red folder, I would still trade. I just wouldn't trade anything that has AUD, that's the Australian dollar, in it. So red folder, you don't trade that currency. Orange folder, it's medium impact. I will trade it at times, but if I'm going to trade it, I'll reduce my risk. Yellow folder, that really is not an issue for me. I'll trade it. But one of my trading partners, if she's going to trade and there's any folder on a currency, she's not going to trade it. It doesn't matter what the color is outside of gray. Gray is just representing a bank holiday. So say it was, is the Martin Luther King, there's a day for that? There's a Martin Luther King Day, right? If it was that day and it's a bank holiday, then there wouldn't be any issue with trading the US dollar if it's gray because of that. That's not an issue. I hope everything is clear. Everything is clear. Drop a 222 in the chat if you guys are clear on that. iPhone doesn't have their volume on yet. Let's see. Okay, you got it, Miss Rose. Awesome. All right. So it's after 11 here. I'm on East Coast, New York. So there is no news for 11 o'clock. There's news at 101 on the US dollar. So we see that there was a red folder an hour ago, and there's going to be an orange folder at 1. So I'm actually going to be really cautious with the US dollar, to be honest. So once you check the news, next you want to check currency strength. And there are two sites that I use for that. I use finviz.com. Wow, this is looking good. And the currency to the furthest left is the strongest. The currency to the furthest right is the weakest. Now, when you are going to take trades, it's either going to be buys or calls or sells or puts, right? So a call or buy, you're looking for price to go up. A sell or put, you're looking for price to go down. And how do you know which direction to be looking in? Well, when the first currency in a currency pair is stronger than the second, you are looking for buys, calls, or for price to go up. And here we see Euro JPY. Euro is the furthest left, which is the strongest. JPY the furthest right, which is the weakest. So I love this. I love how this is looking right here. It looks really good to me right now. So I also look at livecharts.co.uk, right? And we're seeing the same thing. And we see it represented in bars here. Euro has all the bars, 6 bars, meaning it's really strong. And JPY has 1 bar, really weak, right? That's the same thing we saw over here. So we have confirmation, double confirmation that, yeah, the euro is the strongest today. So once I know that, so I know that I'm going to be looking for buys, right? Because currency 1, euro, is stronger than currency 2, JPY. If I were to look for sells, I would need to do a currency pair where currency 1 is actually weaker than currency 2. So an example of that would be, say, USD Cad. That's another currency pairing. USD, being the first currency, is not further left than CAD. It's to the right. So it's weaker. So when the first currency is weaker than the second currency, we're looking for price to go down or for sells. So the first currency is also known as the base. The second currency is the quote. So when the base is stronger than the quote, we buy. When the base is weaker than the quote, we sell. I hope we're all clear on that. Are we clear? Drop a 333 in the chat if you get it. Oh, it's king. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So next, once we know what we're going to trade, and we're going to look at Euro JPY and we look at USD CAD. On this session, I always like to find an example of both and do some analysis, right? So we analyze in TradingView, and TradingView is a free site. There is a paid version, but you can use the free version just fine. The paid version will give you added features. Example, the free version, you can only set one alert. The paid version, you can set multiple alerts, you know. So let's see here. Okay. All right. So to create a TradingView account, once you have a Google account, Gmail, you can use your Google credentials to log in, okay? So if you need to learn how to use TradingView, I have a video that can teach you how to do that. Let's move over. Okay, perfect. So before I get into the analysis, but I know that I'm going to be looking at EJ and UCAD, right? I'm going to show you how to set up a demo account. So we'll do a demo account on Pocket Option. And this is not me endorsing Pocket Option. I don't have any affiliation with Pocket Option, no endorsement deals, no anything. It's just that I know that you can set it up really quickly and there is not going to be any charge to do so. You can just set it up. Why is this taking 10 years? Things are okay. Here we go. Let's log out. All right. So when you go to pocketoption.com, you'll see this beautiful island. It's winter here in New York still. I wouldn't mind being on an island right now. It's not too cold today, but still not the temperature of an island, so I wouldn't mind. But to set up your Pocket Option account, you can do it in 3 different ways. You can use your Facebook to log in, you can use Google to log in, or you can use your email and create a password. Now, if you just want to use it for play, you can use Facebook or your Google credentials. But if you think that this is an account that you would actually consider funding and, you know, having your actual dollars in, I would recommend using your email and creating a password that only you know, right? Because anything can happen with Facebook. We saw people have issue with Facebook some months ago. Facebook was down. That was crazy, right? All the Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, all of that was down. Nobody could use it. You wouldn't want anything like that to happen with your account. So just to be on the safe side, but I feel like I'm rambling. So, okay. So whatever option you choose, go ahead and do that, right? That's under registration. I am going to log in. I'm not a robot. Let's see. Next. Okay. I think that's it. All right. I passed the test. I'm not a robot. Yay. All right. So let's see. All right. So for Pocket Option, when you first log in, it won't look like this. You will have candles, it will look like this. And I believe you will have stocks here. So you're gonna click right here, right? And you can trade currencies, cryptocurrencies, commodities, stocks, indices. So you want to go ahead and select currencies. And then it's going to default to payout percentage, going from the highest percentage payout all the way down to the lowest. So I like to have it alphabetical because that way I can find what I'm looking for easily. So I said we would analyze Euro JPY. So let me go ahead and star that. And I also said we'd analyze USD CAD. So let me go ahead and star that, right? So now we have that starred. They're actually right there. So I can just click on them at will, right? And then be in either chart. Next, I don't like having it on the candles. And it's just my preference. You know, as you develop your trading, you will decide what you like. I like to have the line chart, and I like to toggle this to the right so I can see the area. Click outside, and there we have it. All right. So now, when taking a trade with me, there are 4 things you need to listen for: the currency pair, right? And we know we're looking at Euro JPY, USD CAD. So you'll listen out for which one it is. So the currency pair, you want to know the time. And typically with pocket option, I'll have it on 5 minutes, but I'm going to do a quick demo with 1 minute. So let's select M1 right there, right? So currency pair, price, strike price. So here you see price is constantly moving. It's 128.20 something, right? It's nonstop, right? So you're going to pay attention to the last 3 numbers. I'm just going to call out the last 3 numbers. So it's going to be currency pair, time, strike price, and whether it's a buy or sell, call or put. So if it's a call or a buy, we're going to look to go higher, right? If we're buying, we want price to go up. If it's a sell or put, we're looking for price to go down. So it just says higher or lower. So when I call out the strike price, so right now, looking at this, come on, move, yes. Looking at this, if I were to guess, actually, let me get some participation. Amama, can you help me out?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me, looking at this right now, do you think price is gonna go up or down?
Based on the candle,
Just looking at this, do you think
it will
price
go.
is gonna keep going up or you think it's gonna come down? If you were to guess, just to guess, no analysis, just looking at it to guess.
It will fall, it will drop when it reaches
It will go
maximum.
down?
It may go down, yeah.
Okay, so then I'm gonna hit the lower button for it to go down. So guys, all we need is for price to stay below this red line by the time the expiration comes, and that's this vertical line, yes. This vertical line, we need price, this blue dot, we need it to go below the red line and stay there, and that will signify a successful trade, right? And you can see the progress here. Right now, it's like playing around. It's playing games with us. Like, hey, come on, stop. You know? All right. And that's basically how you do it. Of course, we didn't do the analysis. I just asked Amama to guess real quick. trading is not gambling, it's not Vegas. So we don't just guess and press buttons, but I just wanted to show you how it works, right? So trade is over. Your JPY trade is completed. Profit $0. Okay, so that was not a successful trade, right? So now that I've shown you how you would take a trade, let's actually analyze and see the difference, okay? So we're going to look at Euro JPY. Oh, that's like seriously over bought already. All right. This is seriously over. Actually, the way this is, I would actually take a sell. It's too overbought. So when I'm taking trades, they say you should trade with the trend, right? So we know that we're supposed to be looking for buys on Euro JPY because of how amazing this looks, right? But from looking at this, we have missed our chance. So now we need to wait for a pullback to be able to get into a trade on Euro JPY. But this thing seems like it's on a runaway train, going, gone, right? So you want to buy the ceiling of an uptrend. When things are trending up, you want to buy the ceiling. So you're like, what's the ceiling? Okay. So let me show you what the ceiling is. Let's see here. All right. So price moves up, price moves down, price moves sideways. Right. So when it's moving up, that's an uptrend. When it's moving down, that's a downtrend. But then it can move up and down and up and down and up and down. Can somebody tell me what it's called when prices just moving up and down like this?
I think it's consolidation. Consolidation.
Consolidation, that's right. All right. So like I said, we want to trade with the trend, especially when you're very new. The safest bet is to just trade with the trend. You don't want to be taking trades in here. You want to wait until it breaks, close, retest, and you keep going. So this is resistance. Okay. This top line is resistance or the ceiling, right? And this bottom line is called support or the floor. You stand up on the floor, the ceiling is resistance up there, right? So when we have a consolidating market, what you want to do actually is wait for price to break out in whatever, wrong thing. You just want to wait for price to break out, right? It comes here, but we know we're in an uptrend. We want to wait for price to actually break out, retest, and then we'll get in, right? So when I say we buy the ceiling, this is the ceiling, correct? Right? This is the ceiling. But then when it breaks and retest, now the ceiling has become what? The floor. Resistance over here will now be support over here. And this is when it's okay to get in and take it up. Does that make sense? Everybody is following me with that?
Yes.
Awesome. Right. So you don't want to be like, oh, I have to sell the ceiling, because that's the basic. That's what real novices say. Like, okay, yeah, I buy the floor and I sell the ceiling. No, you want to buy the ceiling, because the ceiling is going to become the floor. You do that. Like a real novice will say that, but then also when you're really, really, really skilled, um, you may be able to trade reversals or trade pullbacks, but we're not at that level. We're taking it easy. We're gonna learn to wait for the breakout to get in. All right. Um, so that's that. So with that understanding, let's come back and take a look at what we see here. So we can put a line, here's a ceiling, right? That's a level of resistance. Why is it resistance? Because it came here and it came back down. So now it's broken out. So I actually need to look for it to come back down here for me to go in, right? Let's look. This is on the 15-minute chart. Let me look on the hour and see what things are looking like. So there it is over there. Yeah, so that's what I would be waiting on. It needs to come back. So it's way overbought right now. So price has to come back. Now, will it? Like this market is, the euro is so strong. It's 1.74%. It is so strong that I don't know if it will come back. But guess what? I have to wait for it to come back. And if it never comes back, then I just will not be getting in. And that's the part of trading that people struggle with the most. I know that I've had my struggles with it. It's being disciplined. So learning the skill of trading is really not as difficult as it may appear. The charts may look intimidating initially before you actually learn the basics, but over time you'll recognize that it's really not that tough. So, but what's tough is being disciplined and patient. That's like 80 to 90% of it, to be honest. So we just know that we have to wait. My ideal price is here. ONC. Yeah, this is my ideal price. I would want to see price come back down to 851 or somewhere here. That's where I need to see price come. Anywhere between 880 to 851. That's where I need to see price for me to take the trade. It's came here, pulled back, it broke out, but it just kept going, going, going. I need to see it pull back. And that's it. Does everybody understand?
Yes.
And you understand why, right?
No, I'm not getting it.
Okay. Even though we know that price is going up and I said, okay, this is an uptrend, looks like this, right? Price doesn't just move in a straight line like that. Price moves like this. Right? We know this. That's how price moves. Hold on. Okay, perfect. Right? And how do we know that it's an uptrend? Aside from the fact that we definitely see it going up. Does anybody know? Can anybody answer how we know that it's an uptrend? Okay, I'll tell you. So this is where we started. And then what is this called? A high, right?
The
Yes.
highest
So this
high,
is the low,
highest
this
high,
is the
and
high.
yeah,
What is this called?
A low.
the lowest
It's a
low.
higher low because it's higher than this one,
Right.
right?
Okay.
So that's how you know it's an uptrend. When there's a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. That's how you know it's an uptrend. And along with that, if you want to get in a trade, you want to get in here or here or here. Or here. You only want to get in at the pullback. You know, on social media, all those financial experts, they're saying buy the dip, buy the dip. This is the dip. You're waiting for a retest. And then you can take the trade. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. That's what I meant to do. Okay. There. There. All right. So when you see whoa, this is like perfect. I feel like an expert. Like an expert. So look, the ceiling became the floor, right? And then this ceiling became the floor. This ceiling, it may become the floor. And with me saying all of this, it's also possible for price to just go like so and not come back, right? Because the market does whatever it wants to do. We can only look in the past and see what happened in the past to give and to have an educated guess, because we're really still just guessing, but it's an educated guess as to what we believe will happen, because the charts basically have patterns and the patterns repeat themselves over and over and over, right? So you just got to get really good at being patient, at knowing knowing price action, I should say. Now this is price action. Knowing you got to wait for the breakout and the retest. So let me delete these. Does that clarify things for you, Amama? Did that help to clarify why we have to wait for it to come down here? Are you still there? You're muted. I don't know if you're responding, but you're on mute. Amama. Did that answer your question? All right. So we see we have a red candle now, right? A red candle is a bearish candle. So my ideal price, like I said, is down here. But I know that this was also a level, but I want to see it come down here. Another reason that I feel like it will come down further is that it's been dancing around in this overbought area. So it needs to come down to continue going up because it really has been shooting up like crazy. So it has to come down now. See, it's coming, it's been coming down. It's just what has to happen. What goes up must come down. That's just what it is. All right. So Euro JPY, we're not going to take that trade. We're going to go look at USD Cad. All right. So USD Cad that we were looking at for a sell. Okay. Remove drawings. It's selling as we speak. So for a sell, where we buy the roof of an uptrend, we sell the floor of a downtrend. And I always like to look at it on the line chart. It gives me a clean outlook. So that's a floor. So it actually needs to break through here. And I would be looking to get in at a retest of this area. That's one thing. But then on the hour, this is a floor. So also I could look for it to retest here at 180 to continue going down. So I would need price to pull back up here for me to take a sell on USD CAD, or I would need it to break out of here, retest, and then I would take it down. So those are the two options.
Good morning. How are you, sir? It's crazy outside. Yes, it is. No, it's raining.
Does anybody have any questions?
No, I'm following.
Okay. And it makes sense to you, Miss Rose?
Yes.
Perfect. Perfecto. Oh my. Okay. All right. So now we just gotta wait on that. So USD CAD is looking a little bit more promising. We would just need, I just need to see a pullback up here. So once we know we're looking to get into USD CAD, okay, what's Euro JPY doing? Will we get that entry? Hold on. Let's that. All right, let's see. It's slowly coming down. This really is my ultimate, but I feel like let me turn around right there. Yeah. I need it to come down here. All right, USD CAD it is. And this is where you can set your alert. Okay, so while we're watching USD CAD, we can set an alert right here for Euro JPY. I have the TradingView app on my phone. So if price comes down here where I anticipate it coming, because it's so overbought, I'll get a notification, and I set it a little bit above the price, right? So I'll get a notification, and then I can come back and get on the chart. So I don't have to be stuck just sitting, watching. I can live my life. And that's so with your phone, imagine being out, because you can pull up the broker on your phone. You get a notification from the Trading View app on your phone. You just open up, you see, oh, it's at price. You jump in the trade and you make your profit while you're out running your errands, doing whatever it is you have to do in your daily life. Doesn't that sound exciting? Right? So in a matter of minutes, you can make profits. But yeah, this your JPY. So we're just gonna leave that. We're looking at USD Cad. All right. So it's broken through this level. I really would have wanted it to pull up here. Some major push down, USD Cad. All right. So while we're waiting, remember I said that if you have an orange folder, you want to reduce your risk. So for every trade that you take, you should risk 1% of your account when you're new. Don't risk more than that, right? And that's when you have a great trade. As you get more seasoned, you can, decide for yourself. 1% is for a really conservative trader, 2% is for a moderate trader, and 3% is for that risk taker. Don't risk any more than 3% on your account. Okay. So as a 1% trader, and there's an orange folder, and I say you reduce your risk. If you were risking $10 on a trade, drop that down to $5. Does that make sense? Just risk 0.5% if it's a risky trade. It's like right now, I'm looking at this, and I say you got to trade with the trend, but we know that we're waiting for a pullback. So some people will trade the pullback. Like, see, it's pulling back. So with that, you can reduce your risk, because remember, the market does what it wants, and it could decide, nah, I'm not gonna really pull back, I'm just gonna shoot down to the depths of hell. Or like you can see here, price comes down, pull back, 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 price comes down. So we're looking for a pullback. It makes sense, right? We're looking for a pullback because that's just what price does. And there's the pullback. And I think we missed it. But that's the pullback, right? That's the pullback. That was 81. The line is at 81,081, and it pulled back. So that was an entry right there. Do you guys see that? Am I
Yes.
by
Yeah.
myself?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, that's how it goes. And it's just going to keep doing that until it decides to reverse. How do you know? Okay. So, we know that in an uptrend, we're going to see higher highs and higher lows and higher highs and higher lows. But at some point, there's going to be a reversal. How do you know when things reverse? Does anybody know? Can anybody tell me?
It could be well, I use candles. It could be a hammer candle.
Okay, so you're getting all fancy with it. Well, yeah, a doji can also signify a trend change, you know, and hammer, yes. But on a basic level, let's go. Let's see. We know that it's higher highs, higher low, higher high, right? But then at some point it's gonna go like this, right? At some point. When that happens, what's that?
The lower lows and the lower highs.
Lower low, exactly. So higher highs, higher low, higher high, higher low, you know you're going up. But at some point, the low is gonna be lower. I feel like I want to sneeze, but it's not coming. Okay, this is driving me nuts. But yeah, at some point that's gonna happen. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. Sorry. Thank you. So yeah, that's, and we don't know when that's going to happen, but it's going to happen. It always happens. Let's get rid of this indicator. Let's go. It started off, let's see, hold on. – 2003, let's start. It started way up here. It came down here, but now it's going up again, right? This is lower than this. So we have a higher high. This is a pullback. It could be going to come up here. We don't know. The market just is moving. It has patterns on the monthly, on the weekly, daily. And you just got to analyze on the different time frames. But you know, we're doing binary options. So we just look on the 5-minute and the 15-minute. And I really look at the 15-minute and the hour, to be honest. When I'm doing a full top-down analysis, I mark up the charts from the daily, the hourly, and the 15, and then I take my entry on the 5. You know, I always take my entry on the 5-minute chart. But it's just gathering data. So we see rather a pullback happening, and it looks like it's pulling back to this here where I had seen. Let's go back again. Shouldn't have deleted this. Hold on. It just has to pull back. It's just what has to happen. It just has to pull back. It's never gonna just go. So let's see. Let's watch it and see. It is gonna pull back. Okay, so at this point, I had the line here, but now this indicator is lower. So while I like 180, my line is, it was saying 180 before. Now I have it at 186. Same general area. Now I would say 163, because as time goes by, the data can change a little. So now I'm waiting to see it come to like 163 to jump in. Euro, USD Cad. Yeah. That's what I'm waiting on. Let's see if it will happen. It's waiting on that pullback. It's still playing here. I want to see it come up here. If we had taken that entry low risk, we would have cleared. But I want to see it come up here. Patience is the game. All right, let's see. Let's see if it will come up. We have a new candle. Now I would say I would want to see price come to 158 now that we have the new candle. I really want to see it come up here. I know we would have cleared this one. I was talking, so we weren't, so I didn't get into it. But I want to see price really come up here. And I feel like it will. But it's 12:01. I'm going to wrap this up. I'll just talk about compound interest really quickly to wrap things up. All right, so when you're trading, you want to have a trading plan. You don't want to just be in there going. You want to have a plan of action. And compounddaily.org can help you with that. You know, you can grow your account on a daily. Say you want to grow your money by 4%, and let's do it for a year. How much do you make per year? Some people make 40,000, 50,000. I think between 50 and 60,000 is the average income for a lot of people in the US. If you started a trading account with $100 and you just grow it by 4% a day, we're not going to include weekends because the market is closed on weekends for traditional Forex. What can happen? By the same time next year, you'll have over $2.6 million. If you're perfect, if you're a robot, but we're not robots, right? We can have errors. And that's why I tell you, you want to, risk just 1%. So you'll risk 1% as many times as you need to grow your account. Now, when you sit down to trade, you must know how much you're going to make, what your target is to make for the day, but there can be losses and you need to factor that in. So when it comes to losses, you need to know what your stop loss is. What's the amount that you're willing to take a loss on, and then you will be done for the day. Because you can't just be trading, and your account is going down, going down, going down. When do you stop? So I would say if your goal is to make 4% in a day, maybe you're willing to take a loss 2%, right? If your goal is 8% for the day, maybe you're willing to take a loss of 5%, right? Or 3%. You just need to decide what that number is and you need to stick with it, right? So day one, 4% of $100 is $4. So you would just need to make $4 and then stop trading. The next day you'll have $104 and you will need to make $4.16. So 16 cents more, yippee. Fast forward to day 30, you're making $12.47. Day 90, you're making $131. It's still just 4%. It's just you practicing discipline and patience. And we just saw a good deal of that in this session, right? You gotta be disciplined, right? Look at that. So it panned out. I thought it would come up here, but I said, low risk. Thought that it may break, close, retest. That's exactly what it did. But because it's in the oversold area, I feel like I still believe it's gonna come up a little bit higher, but now I'm adjusting that to 152 actually for my price to enter. So for anybody out there, yeah, I'm looking at 152 or higher to get in on USD Cad. But yeah, back to this. So say you didn't do 2.6 million and you only were only able to do half. That's still over $1 million you can make in a year if you're disciplined and patient. So it's up to you. So as you're studying, as you're on your trading journey, you also need to be reading the books. You need to be constantly working on that mindset because you want to know how to handle yourself as you're making that money, because we see so many people who make lots of money in whatever arena, not just in trading. Think about a professional athlete. There's so many professional athletes that they make 6 figures or even 7 figures in a year. And by the time they retire, 2 years in, they are broke. How does that happen? They didn't develop that mindset. Nobody told them, hey, you're making all this money. You need to work on, finance, wealth 101, how do you handle yourself when you have all this money? There are a whole lot more things that you can spend your money on when you make more money. What Biggie said, the more money, the more problems. Yes, but not if you can learn some self-discipline. But yeah, that's going to be it from me for today. Thank you for getting on. I'm going to say goodbye to you people out there in YouTube land.
Okay, thank you, Alethea.
You're welcome. You're welcome.